Hello everyone. First of all, let me to introduce myself. My name is Desy Sanabila and you can call me Desy. I'm from 6D, majoring English Language Education at Ganesha University of Education. In this opportunity, I would like to tell you about my material development and I got passive voice as my topic for grade 9 in the junior high school. Well, let's see my material development. In this material development, I choose natural disaster as my unit, and in the first I put the cover. There is the chapter, the unit, natural disaster, and also my topic, the passive voice. So the student will know when they look the cover if they will learn about the passive voice. And after that, I put the standard competency here and also learning objective. So the student will know what they will done in this class and also what the purpose of this learning process. So they will know before they start the learning process. And after that, in the brainstorming, I put the dialogue of the two students. In here, the teacher can ask the student to read the dialogue. This is about the natural disaster. And also, I put the passive voice in this dialogue. So the student know before the material is started, they will know what the sentence of passive voice. And after that, in the reading comprehension, is already in the material. I put the definition of passive voice in the first. Why? Because in here, I want students to know the function of what passive voice itself. So when they continue to the next material, they already know what is passive voice. And here I put the character in the brainstorming to make student interesting to read the book. The name is Jane, and here Jane asks the students to repeat after they read. It means the student can read it or the student can ask the other student to read the text. In here I have the examples of the natural disasters. There are two examples that I put in this material. There is earthquake and also flooding. In this example, I put the passive voice and I bold them to make student easier to know where is the passive voice sentences, so they can guess the verb of the passive voice and the structure of passive voice. It's same with the others example. I bold the passive voice sentences. And also I put the picture to make student can imagine the natural disaster of this example. And after that, I put the exercise of reading comprehension. I put 4 questions that related with the text. And after that, move to the vocabulary. I put the character also, the character of Jane. And here, Jane saw the example of past participle verb. Here it's not only about the past participle verb, but I also put the present and also past. Why? Because I want students to know the best of verb in the from past participle. So before they know the past participle verb, they can know what is the verb one. I mean the present verb and also the past verb. So it's not only about the past participle, so that they need to learn about the passive voice. But my focus here that James mentioned before, if they will learn about past participle verb. And after that, in the vocabulary um, exercise, I want students to find out the example of past participle verb. It's not only about the natural disaster, but the student can also get the other um, example of past participle verb, because I don't want to students stuck in it's only in the verb of related with natural disaster. I want students explore the other verb of past participle. Well, move to the language features. Here I put the character of Jane also. In here, uh, I want students to know the structure of passive voice, and also I put the tenses of the sentence that they will learn in this chapter. So there are present simple, present continuous, past simple, past continuous, present perfect continuous, past perfect, and future simple. Well, here I'm not only put the passive sentence, but also I put the active sentence. Why? Because I want students know um, the the base of a passive sentence. I mean, before when the active voice can be the passive voice, it's like what itu seperti apa. So I put the active voice first. After that, I change it into the passive voice. And after that, here I have a practice for the student. I have 3 practice. For the first, the practice is about the language features, about the structure. Here, I want students to change the active voice into the passive voice, because I already give them example of the active and passive voice, how to change it. I think the student will already know how to change this sentence into the passive. It will train them to change the sentence when they find the active sentence. And after that, I have the video. Actually, it will be focused on the listening skills practice. In here, I have the video about the news, and then in this video, using a passive voice sentence, basically, and I want students to make a list the passive voice when they hear about the passive voice sentences. And now I already put the table to make student easier to list the passive voice sentences. And after that, in the next practice, I put the active conversation. It will be focused on the student speaking skill. So in here, I want students to make a conversation with a partner, and don't forget to use a passive voice in their dialogue. So here, because the student will already learn about how to change the active into the passive, and after that they already learn to hear, to listen the video about the passive voice sentences. So I want students to make their authentic assessment, their authentic dialogue about the passive voice sentences. In this dialogue, I'm not only focused on the natural disaster, because I want students to explore their creativity. And after that, move to the next activity. There is a writing activity. Here, I give the example of the text about the natural disaster, but I also put the passive voice sentences. But I don't bold the passive voice sentences is like before, because I think the student already know where is the passive voice sentences because they already practice in many skill. And after that, after I put the task, I want student to make their own natural disaster task. In this practice, they will use a passive voice. It's like usually because this chapter will focus on the passive voice. So why I want they make their own dialogue? I want make a authentic assessment for students, and I want to look their creativity about their experience, their knowledge about natural disaster, and combine it with the passive voice. Well, that's all about my material development. This is the references of my material. Okay, thank you for watching my video. That's all from me. Class, I say goodbye.